Jen.
Yo, we are so back like never before.
What's
Bitcoin
that?
Reserve, is it true, or are we being LARPed by Cynthia Loomis? Chris, what do you think? Are we in?
I mean, she's heading the Senate Banking Committee of Digital Assets, right? Looking good. We're in the golden age, baby. We've got the golden president. We've got Bitcoin going gold. We've got Goldinals on the stage. I don't know, man. I think it's going live. What are we feeling?
America will be the world capital of crypto, bro. Trump said that, man. How can you not be bullish, dude? This is it. This is it. I literally saw people calling the top yesterday. It's over. The bull run's over. It's like, really? It's over, bro. If it's over, I mean, Jesus.
Damn.
That would just be like, it would be unbelievable. I can't believe. Not believe.
One thing I have to say is I love how some of these politicians are now starting to pick up on crypto cynicism and just like the mimetic culture, where she's doing like an announcement of an announcement, but not putting that it's, Wyoming time, not Eastern time. The trolly nature, like crypto's really starting to permeate into literally everything. Meme marketing is taking over. right? You have the nihilistic kind of view from most people. Zoomers are coming in. Man, what a time to be alive right now. We are we'll be the elite here probably in the next by the end of the decade, and we'll see how Gen Alpha then tries to take us down 15 years from now. Excited for this conversation. We're here with Hans, who's one of the co-founders of Newbit. They've been in the headlines recently for their announcement of Goldinals, but they're also building something much larger that has to do with BitVM. They're backed by Polychain, and there's kind of a lot going on here. So I'm excited to dive into what Newbit is, how they plan to make an impact on Bitcoin, and learn more about our lovely guests. So Hans, what's good, bro?
Yeah, GM. Nice to meet you. Thanks for the invite. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, man. You feeling better today?
Yeah. Feel much better. Especially given the current market condition. Yeah.
Yeah, no way to recover. No better way to recover sickness than Trump bull posting your bags, right? That'll cure any COVID any type of the day. Hans, man, let's just start off right at the top. I know for those that are in the spaces and ourselves, you caught the headline with Goldinals, but once you start looking under the hood, there's a lot more going on here with Newbit. So first, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you have a PhD from the University of Santa Barbara, which is over by where I am in Las Vegas, and you do research in zero knowledge proofs and blockchain and a bunch of other stuff. So give us a little bit of the background and the lore of Hans.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm Hans. I'm one of co-founders of Newbit, and I'm also a PhD student at UCSB, where I do research in CKP and blockchain. So I first entered the crypto world in 2020 when I was just an undergraduate studying information. So I started out in blockchain security, where I focused on identifying and mitigating bugs in smart contracts. In 2022, I joined a blockchain auditing company called Veridice, where I lead several zero knowledge proof projects, including writing formal proof for Ethereum Foundation and Zero Spark. So during that time, I dived deep into the ZK research and basically gained hands-on experience in blockchain. So in early 2023, I began exploring the Bitcoin ecosystem. So I minted some SaaS names, BRC20, and basically people are issuing tokens and NFTs on Bitcoin. Where I think this idea is really wild. So this basically sparked my interest and made me start thinking, what's the missing pieces for Bitcoin? So later on, late 2023, we start Newbit, which is at the very beginning is to unlock the Bitcoin's full potential by building Bitcoin native solutions that are both scalable and trustless. Yeah, that's basically my background. So basically, I'm currently still a PhD student, and basically I'm on leave to build Newbit.
Awesome, man. Well, you might be the first person I've ever met that's still in college getting a degree and raised $12 million for a...
Yeah, most people drop out at that point, right?
Yeah, so sad.
Is your mom pressure from the mom keeping you in school, or what? What's causing you to still have to go?
No, PhD, why not, right? So basically keep this degree, and I will probably drop out.
Tell us a little bit, as somebody who, you're going to UCSB, you're getting your PhD studying zero knowledge proofs and everything blockchain. How did you go about, raising this, type of capital from people like Polychain, Nomad, Spartan Group? I see OKX Ventures in here. Did you build these relationships before you started university, somehow during this, and then take us through the process of raising capital for this vision that you have of Newbit?
Oh yeah, so basically we founded Newbit in late 2023, and basically I founded Newbit with my PhD advisor, who is Professor Yu Fen, and he previously founded a company called Veridice, which also received funding from Polychain and like HackVC, etc. So basically, like most of the fundraising are basically done by him. So yeah, so basically like these connections are from my advisor, my PhD advisor. And that's how we successfully close these rounds. And like based on also based on our like like our previous backgrounds, like we have been in this space for over 2 or 3 years, and we have been working with many big names like the Sims, Ethereum Foundation, etc. So we have like basic track records, and now we basically decided to build on Bitcoin. Like it's very natural to basically support us again.
Wow. So raising capital with your own instructor of the university, man, got to love that story. So then take us through, you went to university, you got your PhD, paired up with professor and, raised some capital through their experience here. What is the vision of Nubit, and what exactly is it? I'm on the website, it says a trustless world computer. I've honestly, to be fair, have seen this kind of, I've seen this a handful of times. People try to say they're, the trustless world computer.
Wait, isn't that Ethereum? I thought Ethereum tried to claim that.
Yeah. So let me explain. So it's not just like a buzzword. So Nubit, we are trying to transform Bitcoin into a trusted small computer. So we want to make it possible to build complex applications directly on Bitcoin. So we basically do this with two main tools, two main products. The first one is BitVM. So BitVM brings the power of smart contracts to Bitcoin. So developers can basically create applications that used to require other blockchains with smart contracts. So we have made BitVM more efficient and secure by adding tools that can basically automatically optimize and verify code, which means like developers can build safer applications faster on Bitcoin. And we also build our DA layer to solve a big problem in Bitcoin, data limits. And so let's say data, like differently, like Bitcoin's block space is only 4 megabytes per 10 minutes, and it's super limited. It's super expensive. So our DA layer makes it possible to run high demand applications on Bitcoin without slowing down the network or relying on centralized servers. So based on this, like our BVM and our DA layer, basically like it's like your PC. So you cannot just have these hardwares and without like having a right software. So based on this, we built Goldinals. Like Goldinals, So basically, Goldinals, BVM, DA layer, these are our main products at Nubit. It's like your PC. We have CPU, which is BVM. We have memory or storage, which is our DA layer, and we have our very first software, which is Goldinals.
Interesting. Okay, we are going to dive into Goldinals. I got to learn a little bit more about Nubit so I can understand this more clearly. I'm going through the website, I'm looking at the ecosystem. You have pretty much everybody listed here from Ethereum L2s to bridges to Bitcoin layer 2s, right? Infrastructure, indexers, so on and so forth. What would you classify Nubit as? Is this a layer 2? Is this like a trusted execution environment? Is this, some sort of framework? Take us through, or at least tell us, from your perspective, how do you classify or categorize this type of thing?
Yeah, you can think of Nubit as a like Bitcoin native infrastructure provider. So we basically build a lot of stuff within the Bitcoin ecosystem. So previously we have built DA layers, we have built module indexer, and that's why like for this module indexer, we provide services for BS20, which is try to basically let users to that can self-verify their balances, their states within their browser. And so based on this modern indexer, we have collaborated with like OKX wallet, Insight wallet. So these wallets, they are they are BRC20 indexers. The backend has been integrated with this modern indexer, and like we also provide like DA services for Bitcoin layer 2s. So back in days, there are like dozens or even hundreds of Bitcoin layer 2s. And at the time, like all of them have a high demand for data availability. So basically, there's a like, real challenge. So if all layer 2s is like trying to publish data directly on Bitcoin, given the like previous mentioned like limited block space, the cost of data availability would be extremely high. And it's maybe like if you like post all this data and like even you're compressing this data to the max, it would only support a total of like 100 TPS for all layer 2s combined. So in this case, like if you want to use your central servers or some kind of DA committee, it cannot prevent malicious behaviors like data withholding attacks. And also like violates the point of decentralization. So like DA, like at the time, like is the most urgent issue that the Bitcoin ecosystem needs to solve. Let's say, so we built this DA layer to basically like leverage this great asset like Bitcoin to secure like the economic security of our DA layer. So basically, we are trying to lean on the least trusted assumptions outside of Bitcoin itself. So there are like many such cases. So basically, our main idea is to build everything around Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is the largest digital asset. You can call it digital gold. But the Bitcoin and Bitcoin network are two like different extremes. So basically, the Bitcoin network, we need more innovations to be happening on the Bitcoin network to make this ecosystem really like healthy and sustainable.
Interesting. So essentially what you guys are doing is you're kind of building the plumbing for this different type of infrastructure that's building on top of Bitcoin. So for the DA, it says that you guys have light clients, you know, full storage nodes. There's different types of validators, you know, which is important to kind of glue together these L2s to the Bitcoin blockchain and building that type of DA layer, as well as some other infrastructure that I am noticing here. Why go about this direction? And the reason why I propose this is, you know, this isn't the quote unquote the sexy thing to do, although it is important. You know, maybe there's not a clear type of business model for this immediately. You know, it's a little bit more technically intensive to understand, but potentially could be needed. So why build this why build in this area that is maybe somewhat emerging, but also somewhat unknown?
Yeah. So basically, like there are hundreds of Bitcoin ecosystem projects back in 2023 and 2024. There are a lot of projects, and none of them went very far, right? Due to the brutal limit of Bitcoin. So with all these, I would say, failures. So basically, we want to we're trying to figure out what's the right missing pieces for this ecosystem to really like survive, I would say. So we built all this infrastructure to mitigate these like current issue. So basically, there are many Bitcoin native projects, but if you analyze their data flow, analyze their architecture, basically none of them goes far beyond their own central servers. Because like getting their transactions set on a Bitcoin network is not only expensive, but technically highly non-trivial. And someone need to solve this problem so that we can finally have many truly Bitcoin native projects. And I think like without solving this problem, like none of these projects will gain like much traction from the Bitcoin holders or Bitcoin OGs, since they are like very like since they are not the guys that can like they can trust your multisig. They only trust Bitcoin. So the way to like build the right applications and to be able to attract or like gain tractions within the Bitcoin's ecosystem is to be Bitcoin native, and it's super hard. So we are trying to provide these services for all these projects so that they can like mitigate, like they can upgrading from their centralized solutions like multi-sig, centralized servers, or even like like there may be like so many centralized components, and we are trying to like gradually decentralize all their components into the Bitcoin native one. The first step, like for layer 2, first step is replacing your multisig with Vivian Bridge, and second step, replacing your centralized data server with like Bitcoin native DA layer, and later on, like all these projects will adopt this pattern, and which is the right way to build on Bitcoin, which is more secure, more like trustless, and more Bitcoin native. And I think like all the people within our ecosystem will value these contributions or value these infrastructures. So I think that's the right way to do things. And even if like currently there are only, let's say, 10 or like even less layer 2s survive, I would say we are here to basically we are ready for the next wave of like innovations within the Bitcoin ecosystem, and like we are ready for the future. We are ready for the future.
Go ahead, Dan.
I was going to say kind of one of the things we've seen with kind of other L2 solutions, whether it's, Stacks or Rootstock, they build out, these large kind of ecosystems or whatever, but there's no real users over there. And I don't know, I think I had a DM or a chat with you on the timeline about that very thing. It's like you build all this infrastructure or a Metaprotocol or whatever, but if you can't attract users with something interesting or something novel, or the ability to make money over there, what's going to cause users to use it? And so that's my kind of question to you. What do you think this what do you think somebody is going to build on this that's going to cause the next wave of users to come and use your solution?
Yeah, definitely. So this is also the question or the issue that we have been thinking a lot of times. So basically, we think to onboard the next million users, you need to first onboard the next, let's say, hundreds of developers, right? And currently there are like less than I would say like only 100 Bitcoin developers, and they're all from like Bitcoin projects. There are no like external developers, and there are like very little applications that users can use, and the whole development speed is very slow. So if I'm a developer, when I'm trying to build on Bitcoin, the first issue is how to write smart contract. So basically, today's blockchain, these developers, they understand Solidity, they understand Solana's like Watson, this kind of smart contracts, and their mindset is heavily constrained by this architecture. So they want them to be able to deploy contracts and write their own logic without like understand the underlying like blockchain details. Like I don't want to manage, let's say for Ethereum, I don't want to manage the like memory slots or like I just want to write Solidity in high level contracts. But for Bitcoin, here's the issue. So if I want to build a bridge, or if I want to build a layer 2 on Bitcoin, I need to directly write assembly code in Bitcoin script. And like there are currently no great tools to write this code. Basically, you need to. It's like programming in 80s. It's super slow. If you want to build like a simple application, let's say, build a verifier, build a ZK verifier, which is what BVM did. So basically, to build a very simple ZK verifier only costs 200 less code in Solidity and in Rust, this high-level language. And if we want to build this on Bitcoin, it takes like, I think there are like 10 teams working on this, and it takes like over a year to ship the first prototype. And the whole code base is like basically over 1 gigabytes of code. And these kind of contributions, these kind of efforts are what limiting the ecosystem growth. So basically, there are no new developers can like directly start their business. They need to understand all the details, understand UTXOs, understand how to like what is Bitcoin's opcodes. There are like hundreds of opcodes, and you need to understand each one of them. So these are super hard, and these are the reason why we haven't seen any interesting like we have seen some interesting applications like Goldinals, like ES20, but besides this, like the application number of the like killer application, we haven't seen that much. So,
but don't you feel like the reason developers came over to Ordinals was because there was they realized that there was money to be made there, right?
yeah,
right. So it's like, so my more specifically to my question to you is, what are you guys going to do to, hold out either that bag of money for developers, or which this is a kind of the standard blockchain L1 solution, which is we hold grants programs, right, to try and attract developers. Or what I'm saying, it's just I understand this is a real difficulty and a real challenge. Your thoughts on that a little more.
Yeah. So I think to attract developers, the easiest way to do right now is to revive the current ecosystem. So we need to revive the Ordinals, ES20 ruins, and to revive them, we have our own solution, which is Goldinals. So like, let's say, I think currently the fragmentation is eating us up. So basically, if you hold up BS20 token, let's say Audi, but want to get into another token like ruins, think of the process. It's tedious. You need to first deposit your Audi onto a centralized exchange, let's say Binance or OKX. You sell Audi for BTC, and you like basically withdraw your Bitcoin back to the chain, and you buy ruins with that BTC or mint ruins with that BTC. There are like 4 steps, and you also need to wait for the Bitcoin confirmation, which will take nearly an hour, and that's and think of if you are trying to swap your token on Solana, it will only take seconds, and there's a whole lot of hopes to jump through. And let's say besides that, like if developers who want to launch new assets, it's also like it's very difficult. They need to design assets, they need to like coordinate with wallets, infrastructure providers to integrate their solutions, and they need to offer liquidity to that assets. So there are like a lot of it's basically a fragmented system, and that's why it feels so like the liquidity are so fragmented that like both BS20 and ruins and all the like existing assets, they are like underperforming the whole market, and we think this need to be changed. So we need better interoperability, and I think that's what we want. And also, like Domo also wants this part. So so basically, we currently have our basically second generation of meta protocols, which includes like BRC 2.0, which is an upgrade to the BRC20, and Akanis, which is proposal like new meta protocol proposed by Oil Wallet, and our Goldinals, which is like based on like Bitcoin native execution and data. So basically, this second generation of new meta protocols are like trying to fight that, like not fight, like it's basically previously we have many like zero sum thinking of the space, like, and then later on, like people find that if you still trying to make this ecosystem too fragmented, then no new users will come in. So like the first step is to unite all these assets, unite all this community, and second step is revive the ecosystem and bring back the liquidity, bring back the wealth effect, and new users. Yeah.
So Goldinals, as it's described, says that it's a unified protocol for Bitcoin assets, and it's the unified solution for Bitcoin meta protocols. Today, there's dozens or so of different types of standards, whether it's BRC20, or atomicals, runes, even counterparty, etc. Right? The list goes on and on. As one of the issues the industry has run into on Bitcoin is that the liquidity has become fragmented, or as you explained earlier, there's so many developer ecosystems that it's really tough for the user to come in and understand, what's the difference between all of these different, what's the difference between runes and BRC20, or why does somebody use CBRC20? And it just becomes, right. It eventually just causes people to just not participate at all because the barrier is just so high. So it's noted on the website that Goldinals is fully compatible with BRC20, runes, ordinals, etc. It's built on BitVM, which is not complete from my understanding. It's not fully released. I do know that they have a BitVM 2 that's come out, and it's faced some criticism. And then also Domo, who's the creator of BRC20, has worked on this, as well as Script Platform, which is the OpCat operating system kind of programmer cohort that has built Cat20 on Fractal and that they've supported in this way. How is this going to work? Is this, let's say I own Ordi, and then Chris, who's on stage, has Dog, and then Adam has Adam from Atomicals. What would we do with these assets in order to participate in Goldinals?
Easy. So let me first explain Goldinals. Let me first answer your question. So you can basically trustlessly convert your current assets into Goldinals. And within Goldinals, there will be AMM, a native AMM, which means you can swap your Audi directly with Dodge. So this can be the, like, I think the current like killer applications. Like you can increase your liquidity and like directly have this interoperability within the Goldinals protocol. And to do this, Goldinals is a new fungible token standard, right? To do this, we are trying to design it to stay true to the Bitcoin Trusted Foundation. So previously we have let's say 100 or like asset standards like BRC20, atomicals, ruins. They're all fragmented and they're all isolated. And the reason why people are launching so many meta protocols is that like every new feature requires building a new protocol from scratch, since there's no programmability. Let's say if you want to build a stablecoin, you need to start a new protocol called like BRC whatever, right? So the solution to that is to bring the programmability to the protocol itself. And to do this, we have two paths towards it. So the first is we can increase the indexer. We can like have this like execution model within the indexer, and it's basically like Ethereum's way. So basically, you can design your indexer to accept the contract input when you try to deploy assets, and this contract need to be uploaded to the Bitcoin, and you need to care about the execution model, etc., etc. And finally, you still need to trust this indexer, since there's no way you can without running an indexer, there's no way you can ensure that your balance is true or false. So we think we need to remove the reliance on these external indexers. So we build Goldinals with BVM. So Goldinals, we enforce execution proof together with each transaction to minimize this reliance on the indexer. So basically, previously for BS20, for Rollins, all these Metaprotocols, they are putting their data on chain, but their execution is basically handled off chain. And for Goldinals, both the execution and the data will be on chain, which means you can directly check the Bitcoin transactions to know whether this execution is succeed or not. So you can directly retrieve your balances from the on-chain transactions, on-chain states, like the states of UTXOs. So it basically lets you to create Bitcoin-backed assets in a decentralized way. There's no longer a need for these centralized indexers. You don't need to query these indexers to get your balances. And also, since we so basically each transaction will be attached by a CK proof, which is further verified by BVM. And so BVM, as we have been talking about BVM for a lot of times, BVM has been basically it has been launched back in I think three months ago. So the first working prototype has been launched. So based on this prototype, basically this is like a joint effort with Open Labs, ZeroThink, Citria, all these billion companies, and we basically back in October, we have verified the first CK proofs on Bitcoin network, and with all these combined efforts. So at the time, we basically these teams we successfully reduced the script size to less than 1 gigabytes, and this script size can be further trunked into 600 of subscripts, and which can further upload it to the Bitcoin for Challenger. And so basically during that time, the BVM's architecture has been working. So we started designing Goldinals. We start thinking what's the first killer application for this new innovation. So we proposed Goldinals, which
Okay, I have a few follow-up questions, but to just simplify this a little bit, what I'm seeing here is that the key innovation is something called the ZK Oracle, which you mentioned is where everything is, all the transactions are signed with a zero knowledge proof, right? Which then is stored on chain in some way. And it says that the ZK Oracle acts as a state machine, which simulates and records the entire execution history of Goldinals. So the ZK Oracle is the equivalent of what's replacing what these past meta protocols call an indexer. Do I have that correct?
Yeah. So basically with these ZK oracles, we like generating the proof for every balances for every state. So you don't need to query indexers every time. You just need to so users when they're trying to submit just transactions, they will need those like these CK oracles to provide their CK proofs to state that whether this transaction is valid or not based on the current protocol rules. So yeah, so this CK oracles is the components that are generating these like proofs that can be verified by BitVM.
Got it. And then it's the second Goldinal introduces something called the challenger. And the challenger is a confirmation of token operations. Challenger proactively verifies the legality of submitted operations. So what exactly is this, or what is this equivalent to in some of these other meta protocols?
Yeah. So this part is basically because of BitVM. So currently BitVM use basically an optimistic challenge response mechanism to verify CK proofs, which means we need to have this challenge and response mechanism when people try to submit CK proof. There will be like a challenge period for challengers to submit their like disproof or like challenge transactions. And since it's barely possible on Bitcoin, so that's the current limitation. We need this challenge period and challenger set. And and this challenges can be permissionless. So basically everyone can be a challenger. And there's another, like we definitely, we are trying to definitely remove this challenger component since it's kind of annoying. But like currently there's some ways to do ZK on Bitcoin, like what Stockware did for their Bitcoin stock verifier, but this require opcat for like advanced hash operations. So after currently on the Bitcoin mainnet, like to verify CK proof, you need challengers.
Understood. I understand. I have a few other questions, but there is a hand. We do have Goran on stage. So first, appreciate you for joining us. You have a question for Hans?
Hey, Jake. Long time no here. It's Tendi, Ordinal guy.
Oh, wow. Long time no talk.
Long time. But I hear you guys actually asking real questions about something that could be potentially real and tangible for the Ordinal space. So, of course, it's my right to show up and try to dissect it a little bit. It's sounding like Hans just built everything Udi raised $11 million for? Without the need for a hypothetical proposal that might not ever happen? Well done, sir. I'm excited to hear more.
What? So are they trying to build all this infrastructure on top of opcat or what's the?
No, I think he's just joking with the. Are you building something that basically makes opcat obsolete and not needed? Is this?
Yeah, that's what it's starting to sound like. It makes the entire proposal completely redundant, and that raise completely redundant. Well done, well done, Jake. Good job, good shit hosting and finding this gem. I'll be keeping an eye on this.
Thanks, bro.
Okay. Yeah. I think like opcat it's like so yeah. So we do need some kind of Bitcoin covenants, but like opcat is not the elegant way to. It's not the most elegant way to do that. We have like other opcodes that can directly solve this problem, but with opcat we only have like a hacky solution. It is simple. It's very simple.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you for explaining that. One more follow up.
Can I chime in one last time?
Yeah. Go ahead.
It does sound like what he's built is exactly what Post Capone described when we found the first BitVM white paper, without the need for an opcat proposal. If this is what I'm dissecting from this, this makes the entire raise redundant. Well done. Well done. All right, bye.
Awesome. So Hans, one other follow-up question here. So you have a lot of cosigners on the Goldinals, I guess you'd call it the unification here. It says that there are some teams that you're collaborating with, like Babylon, Starkware, Fractal, Merlin, Script, additionally some other projects as well. What exactly does this mean? Are these people who are basically just vetting that this is a project that they're interested in? Is there some sort of active participation on this side? Just dive a little bit more into what this other participation is and collaborators.
Oh yeah. So I can explain it more. So for Fractal, so currently we are using their testnet to build Goldinals, which is like currently like there are many Bitcoin testnets, and like Fractal is the most, like I would say, the fastest one, and it's very easy to build on Fractal. And previously we also received grants from the Fractal team. We received a season 0 grant to build BitVM and Goldinals. So they're very supportive and from the very beginning. So that's why we are collaborating with them on this new protocol. And for software, we also received their grants to build BitVM. And based on the result of the grants, we released the Goldinals. And so basically, currently we are developing Bitcoin like secure oracle for so this secure oracle can be used by all the Goldinals, but it can also be used for bridges. So it can like basically generate proofs that can be further verified with Cairo, with Starkware Cairo, and which means we can make the picking of these assets into Starkware trustless, and also the payouts. So so we are basically building a bridge from Bitcoin to Starkware. That's what we are doing with Starkware. And there are also many others, like Babylon. So we have been collaborating with them from the very beginning, starting in last February. So it's almost a year ago. So basically, our solutions, we like for our DA layer, we have this Bitcoin staking included, which is using which is basically using their solution. And for Goldinals, they have like so basically like this like I think we didn't mention Babylon within our Goldinals launch, but basically like Babylon is one of our major partners that can offer unique value to us. And yeah, and there are many more like wallets, like Tomo wallets, KuCoin wallets, Inside wallets.
Yeah, it makes sense that you have to have buy-in, right? If you're unifying all of these fungible token protocols together, you're going to need the wallet provider for each of these protocols, right? You need the marketplace, you need the infrastructure providers, et cetera, to really kind of buy into this idea. Pulling back a little bit from the technicals, under the hood, as Goran had described, this is something that people have been discussing, right, in terms of kind of permissionless token standard, which this doesn't require a soft fork for Bitcoin, right? You don't need to introduce any of these new opcodes. You can kind of use everything that exists, as well as it's built on top of BitVM, which is still kind of in the works. From the incentive or social layer of it, which, as we all know, sometimes or oftentimes is more important than the actual technicals of the protocol. How are you going to get people to basically take their, thousands or tens of thousands or even millions of dollars of Ordi or Dog or any of these other tokens and unify them in Goldinals? Is there an initial incentive system that you guys are going to deploy or launch so that users, don't feel like this is a one-way street to losing all of that capital that they've spent, a year or two kind of accumulating?
Yeah. So there are two parts. So the first part is how to make people like how to convince people to bridging or like not the bridge, like wipe their like existing protocols in the Goldinals protocol. So to mitigate this part, I think the key components or key ingredients is to have this trustless component or trustless wrapping services. So people say can wrap in one web like at any time. So they don't need to trust any third party. So they are basically trusting the BVM to be like to work properly. And so you may also ask like BVM is just a prototype. How can people trust us with this? So we also released a mathematical paper called push button verification for BVM, which basically we verified every transaction, every workflow and implementation for the whole architecture of BVM. And it is machine checkable, which means you don't need to trust any experts to tell you whether it is right or not. You can directly use your own computer to download these verification scripts and check with your computer. You can directly run them. So that's one thing. So basically, we are making the onboarding process safer, and people can definitely trust this process. And the second thing is, why should people like care, right? So we will bootstrap the liquidity within this protocol, which means we will provide the initial liquidity for major assets like Audi, like Dodge. So these assets will have instant liquidity LPs on our platform, and people can basically they can swap anytime. It's just like it's much like the user experience, much like a centralized exchange, and this is a clear application. So basically, why people should hold their assets in some centralized exchange is because they want to trade freely. When there's a new hotspot within the market, they say like last weekend Trump released this meme coin, and people are trying to ape into this meme coin, and you directly see the consequence of this behavior, like the rulings, the BS20s, they all dropped a lot. And the reason why these like on-chain tokens are dropping a lot is because there's basically no liquidity and no AMM. So these are what we are trying to offer: deep liquidity, no more fragmentation, swap anytime, and you can back your own asset protocols also at any time. So this basically will become the cornerstone for everyone.
Yeah, I do say you do have a large challenge ahead. Most crypto goers are generally quite lazy or quite greedy. So and that combination could be really tough for new protocols. Although, I am excited to see kind of how this rolls off. Chris, do you have any questions for Hans or any commentary on the overall conversation?
Yeah, for sure. I think you're crushing it. You're crushing the building. All of your docs are super complete. I was reading through them before the last show, just to kind of get an outlook on it. What do you think about the current protocols that stand, and what do you think has like the most chance of kind of surviving and maybe gaining the most users of the current existing kind of meta protocols, whether it be runes, BRCs, something of that nature? What do you think? Where do you think we stand within the current protocols?
So we are here to help them and revive the whole ecosystem.
Yep. I understand that.
So for BS20, for ruins, currently they are like undergoing a hard time, and I'm also like an early supporter for everyone, for each protocol. Also, like their creator, my house like may have some beef back in days, but like generally, I think to really make this ecosystem like back to the mainstream, we cannot succeed without the success of both BS20 and ruins. And currently, like you may say like BS20, the participants are mostly Chinese or like Asians, and for ruins, the participants are more like US, America, European. So it like the the community are also very fragmented, and I think the way to unify these both assets and community is the most urgent thing we need to do.
It is interesting how they're kind of split by kind of geographic location like that.
Yeah,
See that throughout the
yeah,
entire ecosystem. It is kind of strange, huh? Do you have any
yeah,
kind of insights on why do you think maybe the East picks BRC20s and the West picks runes within the protocols? Do you have any insights as to why that kind of divide exists between cultures?
I do have some thoughts. So ruins is basically proposed by the founder of Ordinals, and many participants within the Ordinals community are from the eastern side, or from the western side. Sorry. So basically, these people say basically say they are not participating in the BS20, which like during that launch in March 2023, most early minters are basically like Eastern, like Asians, Chinese. So I personally, I also minted a lot of Audis. So basically, I have minted 97 Audi BS20, and each contains 1,000 Audi backing base. But I sell it's very like at the very beginning to Domo to all these participants. So I think the point is that like the early holders and the whales of Audi are all Asian guys. And later on, 1 year later, when the Ordinals founder released Ruins, these people are like have very much like zero sum like thinking. So basically, they think they are not like on same page. They need to fight with each other, and you see the consequence. So currently, like the ecosystem is fragmented, and both of these protocols are undergoing a hard time. So I think we need to change this mindset and bring more like positive sum game or the like PvE game to the space.
Yeah, it is weird how we always get to these tribalistic kind of characteristics throughout all of our ecosystems, but I think it's no more obvious than in the Bitcoin ecosystem. I think that's the biggest divide always. But I really see the need for something like Goldinals. You know, you don't have to bet on one protocol; you can bet on all of them, and kind of whichever one kind of continues to gain traction, you can still kind of process that through the Goldinals protocol. So I think it makes a ton of sense. I think getting users and getting attention is always the difficult part, right? But I think what you guys are doing is super interesting. And I mean, you're an all-star, man. You're absolutely crushing it. So can't applaud the work that you're doing enough. You're amazing.
Thank you so much,
Adam. After talking about this for an hour, does it all make sense, bro?
Bro, it's so challenging. I think we've seen it just so many times now with these others. One that pops in my mind is Tap, and it's like, but how do you get guys there, dude? I mean, you could have, honestly, you could literally have the best L2 tech on Bitcoin on Earth. But if you don't have the marketing and attractive thing to get people over there, it doesn't matter. It's dead in the water. So you have a significant, to Jake's point, you have a significant challenge. But I look forward to watching you try and get it done. It certainly seems like you have the tech lined up, but the social layer challenge, the marketing challenge, the adoption challenge, that's a whole nother ball game. So I wish you the best of luck, my friend.
One more from me.
Thank you, sir.
You're a young guy, you're brilliant, you're a hardcore builder. If you weren't building this, what would you maybe be building? Like what would kind of gain your interest? What do you think might be missing from the ecosystem that if you weren't working on Goldinals, you would think would be kind of a nice route for someone to build on? This is it.
So the question. Oh, okay. So I think like currently we definitely like for the ecosystem, like there's I would say very little new things. Like during the past year, we only see the BVM being implemented, and other than that, like it's still the old things repeat again and again, like OpCats. Like we have seen these for the past 2 years, and like soft forks, and people are like getting like like I would say the social coordination for the ecosystem is currently pretty much broken, and I think this will be changed. So otherwise, like there will be basically like builders will like going to will go to other ecosystem because of that. If like building on this ecosystem is too difficult, to like so that's my point. So my point is that although like today it may seem very challenging, it may seem like very hardcore to propose new idea, to propose new protocol, given that the current nature of the ecosystem. I think with more and more builders and projects trying to like revive the ecosystem, we can basically gradually change the mindset of the current participants. And when the second generation of the Metaprotocols, all these 3 protocols are being released, and we can see the consequence or the effects of them on the market. We'll see in this year.
I think so. I think, without that social layer and that kind of with that social divide, it's definitely a hindrance. One last thing from me would be, do you think that just maybe a key missing part of the ecosystem is just these centralized exchanges and just listing these coins and kind of allowing the communities to grow through listing on these exchanges? And that might cause that might kind of help subside some of the friction. Do you think that would help the ecosystem in a pretty big way?
Sandbox do help ecosystem, but I think like we currently need also some utility coins like stable coins. That's something.
That's like the number one. I agree. Yeah.
Yes, that's basically number one. So Bitcoin has been too expensive. Like people don't want to trade their Bitcoin for meme coins, right? So we need some kind of stablecoin solutions within the ecosystem. And I think there are like many projects building on this topic, like Yala, like all these projects. Yeah, I think we are getting there. Like with these stablecoins, and later on maybe some like centralized exchange listing. These like it will back to the people's side.
Interesting. Yeah,
Well,
man.
I think you're crushing it. That was one of the white papers that I read front to back for the first time in kind of a while. So I think it's super interesting, and I'm stoked to follow along, man.
Let's hope that Tether comes back to Bitcoin, saves all of our bags one of these days. Hans, man, I really appreciate you for coming in and explaining this. This is definitely one of the more unique protocols I've seen that's using BitVM. The other ones that I've seen are generally L2s who are building bridges to other chains. This is doing that, but then adding this token layer on top of it in a unique way. And we'll have to invite you back to hear more, because there are a bunch of questions that I still have in terms of like, how are these going to trade? What marketplaces is this going to be integrated to? Do you buy these in Bitcoin? Do you buy it in Ethereum? So a lot more questions, but definitely going to be following this to see how it's implemented and see what the type of community buy is, man. So respect to you. The floor is yours if you have any final words here before we do wrap it up for the day.
Yes, thanks for the invite. It's an amazing space. And my final word, let's unify assets, unify liquidity, and unlock the next phase of the Bitcoin system together. Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate that, man. For those that are new to the show, we host the show Tuesday through Thursday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. If you haven't followed Hans, please make sure that you follow him to see everything that's going on with Goldinals. Please also follow the Emblem account as well as Hustle, who is our AI agent, so that you could stay in tune with everything that we're doing. We'll be back next Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. Until then, everyone have a safe weekend, and let's move on.
Take care.